Zangoose is pretty highly ranked in the current Holiday Cup Ultra League Edition, and there are good reasons for that. As you can see here already, this thing can nuke a lot of Pokemon. There's not really a good answer for it. The best answer is most likely some counter user, but like they're rarely in the back, and usually there are the OleSkaaren where you still have the close combat. We're running a team with Charizard in lead. If you didn't see my videos before, I already explained why the normal Charizard is most likely a little bit better than the Shadow version, so we're running the normal version this time around. We have the Say-Stop of a Zangoose, which will be able to deal with a Sandslash pretty easily, as you're going to be able to resist the fast move of Shadow Claw. Still, I expected the Gyro Ball there, and I thought I'm most likely going to need the help. Against Ninetales, we still have the move Close Combat, which is going to two-shot it. I can also bait still. And this will be important as I gonna get the shield from the opponent. I will be able to still get to another Night Slash, which puts them into range where I can farm them down with my Charizard. And we're gonna get into a very decent position like this, getting an energy advantage here as well. Or actually gonna go into my OleSkaaren for whatever reason, I have no idea. But it's still fine, because we can farm them down, I guess. We will see a Giratina coming in, which looks pretty decent so far. And we will be able to go ahead and go for some damage, hopefully with the Charizard now. But the opponent actually catches the move perfectly onto their Sandslash. Very nice catch by the opponent. Making basically, they actually still get to the Blast Burn. That's actually really good for me. This Blast Burn going to do, of course, enough damage to knock them out. Mostly going to knock out the entire family of it as well. But now we have the scenario where I have my OleSkaaren still, I have a shield still, and I have more health than the opponent, plus a lot of energy, so we're going to be fine here. But yeah, basically, main team idea here is trying to get out the answers that you usually don't want to face for normal types in general, with the Zangoose Say Swap, and Zangoose also then has access to Close Combat, which can, for example, deal with OleSkaaren, or also like potential fairy types that you want to like also get out of the way. Basically, you kind of want to scare off the oh, we actually see a Mandibuzz here. That's a rare sight in this cup. You kind of want to scare off the Pokemon that the OleSkaaren doesn't really want to see, as Charizard usually beats them. We will see here, of course, that we can still go for some close combats against the opponent's Mandibuzz. Gonna get them very low at least. Hopefully knock them out, actually, that would be nice, but sadly we just barely miss out of the knockout. We can still get some energy with our OleSkaaren, and we see the Galvantula coming back in here. Galvantula usually goes for lunge, of course, against OleSkaaren because it's going to be super effective in debuffing our attack, but that's kind of predictable, so we're going to swap out into our Charizard, catching the double resisted launch here, as they're going to most likely go for one discharge now. They're going to swap out into a Jellicent. This is going to be a tough one. Jellicent is one of the Pokemon that are now a little bit more common, because they can beat something like Charizard, they can beat something like the Auroras, or the Hisuian Everluck, or something like this. So like there's definitely a reason for them to exist here right now, but also we're going to still be able to have a pretty okayish time here, as our OleSkaaren going to have, of course, a good type advantage here. Sadly, they run Ice Beam, that's the worst possible way here for us. They have Bubble and Ice Beam, both moves that are going to be neutral, but we're going to get some extra energy here just so we can go ahead, go into against the Galvantula, shielding the lunge, knocking them out with hopefully one Night Slash here. Or getting some extra energy still. We will actually get some more energy. No, we're actually going to go straight for the next charge move here. We should still be able to outspeed the opponent because they just went for 2 Ice Beams, and I will be able to outspeed them here. This should still knock them out and we should be fine. If they run Ice Beam, they never run Bubble Beam. There's no way in hell that, yeah, the Jellicent doesn't run Shadow Ball as well, so that should be fine. We see a matchup that I didn't expect that it would go like this. I think here the Shadow might be a little bit better compared to the regular Charizard, because what you're going to see here now is that Blast Burn won't do the job really. Like, you're going to have a little bit of a struggle against it if they shield the Blast Burn all the time. You're going to be able to definitely outspeed them though now, because they're going to have to always throw one charge move more than you. As you can take one Night Slash pretty easily, but this Blast Burn, even if it hits, which it still doesn't hit, it's still not going to do enough damage to really knock the opponent out. Of course, if you have the Shadow version, this would be different here. Can overfarm a little bit, try to throw in the Stampede here, which works out pretty well, but as you can see, it doesn't knock them out. If I went maybe for the one turn earlier, co-swapped into my OleSkaaren, farmed them down like this, I'm going to get some energy on my Zangoose. Sadly, we're going to see a Ninetales coming in, and the energy advantage will not be enough, and I also throw at horrible fast move timing. But you still don't, yeah, I think if I throw it a little bit later and if I throw it a little bit better, I would have got to another charge move here, which definitely would have helped me a lot, because now I don't think there's any way I can still win this. But this was on my, like in my end at least. Yeah, we see a Celesteela coming in actually, which is wild. But I think I still had a better chance if I just played it a little bit better. I think I would win against Celesteela with the Obstagoon in the neutral scenario, and I would have been in this neutral scenario if I threw my charge move a little bit later and a little bit better with my Zangoose. I was just scared that my opponent get to the move in time, but like this is going to be a good game there. I think I still would have won it if I just played it better, but that's on my part. Like, you have to always play good at this or ELO rating anyway. People know what they're doing here. As we see the Jellicent coming in. This should be a pretty decent matchup for the Zangoose, right? Unless they're going to run Ice Beam again, we're actually going to completely hardwall them because Bubble Beam basically does 0 damage. Let's see if they run Ice Beam or not. We will find out shortly. They're going to run Ice Beam, which is a little bit annoying, but we will be able to now retaliate with one Night Slash here, trying to throw on CMP tie, which didn't work out, but it's fine, we can knock them out. Still no boost though, and this was actually something that I had basically the entire time. I only had like, I don't know, 2 or 3 boosts, and I have a double Night Slash team here, so trying to boost against the opponents would have helped me in a ton of matchups. So how this team in general went, it went pretty neutral for me. I lost, I think, like a few elo points, but like not too many. I think it went like 7 and 8. I played 3 sets with it, so it's definitely decent, but I was pretty unlucky in a lot of times. So like, I wouldn't really think, like, if you have like half decent luck with the Night Slash boost, I think you would win way more games here. But I was definitely way under odds. I think I had my first Night Slash boost after like around 15 Night Slashes. Usually it takes around 8 Night Slashes to get 1 boost, so it's really luck dependent, of course, if you get the Night Slash boost, but if you get it early, especially with the Zangoose, like, this thing can just go through teams. Let's see if we can actually find some games as well where I went through teams with this Pokemon. Here we have Lantern, which I already showcased on the channel if you see this here. From someone else's gameplay, this thing always annoys me. This thing is super strong. I always underrate this thing there, underestimate this thing, because it seems to be only like a Great League Pokemon, but actually in Ultra League this thing has the insanest bulk as well. So we see the Dragonclaw coming through. Can we farm it down in time? We can. And we can go for one Night Slash here. Is this enough to knock out the opponent? It's going to be very close, and it is enough to knock out the opponent. So still very good game there. Still very close though. We see the next one. We see a Celesteela. Fire type against Steel type, but nope, I have to swap out because they're of course going to run Smackdown here. I already showcased Celesteela for the Great League Edition. I don't think I'm going to do it for the Ultra League. Well, but here we see our first boost finally in this game here with our Zangoose. We'll be able to definitely do some damage against whatever they have. They're going to have the Ninetales here. I'm going to go for the bait first. Going to get no shielded, but I can still go for another move here. And they think they're going to most likely shield this one up because, yeah, exactly. They thought this would be the actual move, but they didn't even get to the close combat, so no real reason for me to do anything else here. We see the Ninetales coming in. Kind of want to get some extra energy here, but I definitely underestimated the energy gain there. I thought they would take a little bit longer, so I have to go for one move here. I could have actually went for one more fast move, but I don't know if it really matters. I have still one move stored at least. I sure went for the Dragonclaw immediately, not gonna lie. But maybe we still have a chance here. We can go for one more Night Slash here. A boost would be amazing because it would like basically now two-shot the opponents, the Giratina, but sadly we are not gonna get really boosts that really help us. Even here the boost didn't really help us too much against the Ninetales, but we will be able to let this move go through. Pretty sure Celesteela's move's going to do a little bit more damage, and we can go ahead and go for another charge move. Hopefully they shield it because I have a Dragonclaw still stored. They're going to shield it, which is amazing for me, and hopefully they're going to swap out soon to the Celesteela because I have to get rid of this thing. And my opponent is still going for a charge move. I kind of have to shield now. No, I still don't shield. Let's see, they're going to catch the move on Celesteela. This is amazing for me because I can hopefully still knock them out with my stored Dragonclaw on the back, and I can just barely knock out the opponent here as well. This is amazing. I think I still have a shield left, and I can still do some more counter damage against them. This is, I think, more important than it looked like, because this Dragonclaw now definitely going to be able to knock them straight out of here, and Charizard going to win the game with the stored Dragonclaw from before. Always kind of important to have some charge moves stored. Like, sniping opponents with that is always really something that it's like an advanced technique or whatever that you just have to try to figure out a little bit. Trying to not always throw your moves immediately and try to store some for later especially on high attack Pokemon, can really be game changing because you can just snipe opponents when they have a lot of energy because you win CMP, and it's always cool. We actually see another boost here, which literally doesn't matter because we don't even get the damage through. Amazing, but we will find out here now that we can farm them down. Again, like the boost literally didn't matter. If I got the boost in the first one, this would have been amazing. I would have been able to realign most likely, but as the second one, like it literally has no impact at all in the game. We will see the Lapras coming back in here, which allows us to go for a Blast Burn now. Blast Burn gonna do a ton of damage if it goes through, and it does go through, which allows us to go into the Obstagoon, and I think I'm going to forfeit. Exactly, we have basically a hard wall against us there. Yeah, this time around we have the Ninetales in the lead. This is better for us. We see the Snorlax coming in. Show went already for the swap out into the Obstagoon. Don't know what I was doing here. Don't ask me. I think it was one of the first earlier games. I just have to get a little bit more used to the teams. Me swapping out teams the entire time makes it a little bit tough sometimes to actually like play those games out. But also I think here I could make it a little bit better. But I'm going to swap out now into my Obstagoon. We'll be able to catch the Body Slam against the opponent, got my shield back. It's not really the end of the world, but I think maybe even having the Obstagoon in the back, maybe Hyper Beam or Gang Shot would be better here for this Pokemon. Because you can just threaten those Ninetales, and you don't really need to cross-chop too often here. As even like the Night Slash will be able against, like, will be good against those Pokemon where you would also kind of want to use the cross chop. But yeah, we will see a Weather Ball coming through from the opponent. I just wanted to get rid of some energy here, and we see the Giratina coming back in. It's going to be a tough one to still win, but if we can still go for another Dragon Claw afterwards, we should be fine, and we don't. Very good counting by my opponent. The only thing where I would think that we might still have a chance of winning this is if we can get the boost here maybe. Let's see, we can go for one Night Slash. Is this enough to get the boost? Is it enough? Does a boost save us? No, it does not. We have to shield here. At this point of time, I think this game is sadly over. We will be able to farm them down most of the way, but we will see now the Ninetales coming in, and they can just charm us down. So we see a lot of losses here as well against Ninetales. Ninetales is a little bit tricky to deal with, especially as Charizard is not the bulkiest. Finally, we have a good lead again with the Venusaur, but now we've seen Ampharos coming in. Ampharos is not something I want to face, but at least I can get my Obstagoon against them, as this will allow me now to go ahead and maybe shield up this move. I don't know if I shield up this move. I do not. It's going to be a Thunder Punch. I will be able to now go ahead and shield up the next move though, because I need to realign. Kinda. I actually could have also let it go through and try to sweep with a Zangoose, but like this I can align my Charizard hopefully against the opponent's Venusaur. I have to shield again, but they kind of have to farm me all the way down, I guess. Should be okay. I can go straight for the Night Slash. I still always have like this, I still always go for one more fast move before I throw my charge move for whatever reason. That's basically what he did before fast move denial got fixed, but like nowadays the game at least works pretty fluid for me at least. I don't really have any lag or anything like this. So like it's still basically old habit, which I should not really have anymore, but we see a Sludge Bomb coming through. Doesn't do directly half. I can go for one more Dragon Claw. This will be able to get the final shield from my opponent. They still can go for one more Sludge Bomb as they were at 100 energy. I swap out immediately here, and we're going to see an Obstagoon in the back. This is actually okay. We will be able to survive one cross chop here from the opponent, and I can go for my charge move here, Close Combat coming through. We will get them a little bit lower, but look at the HP that my Charizard still has left. This is going to be super close, and we just barely win over the 1 HP in the dream there. Very good game there. Next opponent, final opponent, going to have a Sandslash in the lead. That is okay for us as well. We see the Giratina coming in now against us. Totally okay. We will be able to go for one Night Slash. This Night Slash going to get them low. We can go for another Night Slash afterwards. And we should be pretty okay-ish here. Dragon Claw coming through, but Night Slash again going to do a ton of damage here. We should have a pretty okay-ish matchup actually. I think we can farm them down in time now. We can, so we win the switch advantage here, which is important. We see the Ninetales coming in, so we can now align our Charizard against it. And against Charizard with the Ninetales, we will be able to just go straight for Blast Burn. Blast Burn going to, of course, be our way to go here, as this is going to one-shot them if they let this move go through. They're most likely going to shield them all up because they kind of need to get my Charizard a little bit lower here. And we will see that I tried to see if they want to swap out onto the charge move, so I didn't throw immediately. But they're going to stay in here. They're going to go ahead and go for their next charge move as well. But I cannot allow myself to throw against them now. But I think they have some energy on their Pokemon there, and we actually catch the move, which is super important. We have now one Blast Burn still stored. We can go ahead and go for one Cross Chop here. I don't know if this directly knocks them out, but it's going to come close. But it doesn't really matter anyway, they can go for that charge move. I still have my Blast Bear in the back, and that's going to be it for this game. I think Zangoose has actually a ton of potential, especially if you have a better one. If you see the IVs on the right side, this is just barely XL and a lucky one, so like they could be better, and I think it has a ton of potential. For me, it was fun to use, definitely a cool Pokemon, but I wasn't really that lucky. Still won a lot of games, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!